So as you can see here, we have another case of just reviews not doing their job. Like, reviewers not doing their job, I mean. So the new Zelda game comes out this Friday. Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. Today is it's Wednesday night, and so we got 2 more days. Technically 1 more day because Zelda does come out, like I said, on Friday, and it's almost it's like an hour and a half till midnight. So yeah, pretty much like a day and a half. 5 out of 10, mediocre, according to GameSpot. Bleh. And like, the reasons for it are just bullshit. Like, I'm gonna go through this, and actually no, I'm not gonna go through it too much, but like, he pretty much, this is where I say he loses all his credibility. This guy's Mike Mahardy. He's a reviewer on GameSpot, obviously, and so you got the first paragraph. Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes is a drastic departure from series tradition. Obviously, because it's a spin-off. It's a side game. It's not made to be a traditional Zelda game. I mean, hello. So let's continue. And at times, it shows real potential with clever design rivaling the best of the series' past. Obviously, because it has some new mechanics in it, like the totem mechanic. Duh. But those moments are few and far between. If the demo is anything to go by, for what I played, I would disagree, but hey, that's up to anyone's opinion. The rest is just filler in a shallow game that tries a slew of new things but accomplishes only a few. Again, that's subjective. But now we go into the second paragraph. Triforce Heroes is Nintendo's second original Zelda title on 3DS. Now, I'm not going to argue with that because in that regards, he's right. You know, this is going to be our 4th Zelda game on the 3DS, but it's going to be the second original. Our first Zelda game was Ocarina of Time 3D. Then after that, we had A Link Between Worlds. Ocarina of Time 3D obviously was a remake, and A Link Between Worlds was the brand new game. And then Majora's Mask 3D came afterwards. That's also a remake, and then now we're getting Triforce Heroes, which is a brand new original Zelda game, just like A Link Between Worlds. And then next year we'll have Hyrule Warriors Legends. Sorry, I'm getting really tongue-tied tonight. But yeah, Hyrule Warriors Legends comes out next year, and that'll be another sort of port, spin-off, whatever. So yeah, this is the second original Zelda title on the 3DS, obviously. Here's where he fucks up. After 2011's stellar A Link Between World. A Link Between World. World. Singular. World. 2011. World. 2011. World. I know I keep repeating it, but I'm just saying that it's one sentence. 2 huge mistakes in the first sentence of the second paragraph, which is a paragraph that's trying to open your review. These first 2 paragraphs you're using to open your review. This is the opening of your review, and you're fucking up in the first sentence of the second paragraph. There is no such Zelda game called A Link Between World. It's A Link Between Worlds. This is like as bad as like people who get like the series confused, like people who call the Wind Waker just simply Wind Waker, or people call Twilight Princess the Twilight Princess, or how people call Four Swords Adventures Four Swords Adventure, or people call Adventure of Link Adventures of Link, or Link's Adventure, you know. And for the most part, I know I'm being petty about simple title errors, and for the most part, if it's down to the regular average day person, fine, I understand, you make mistakes. But this person is paid, he's a reviewer, this is his profession, he is paid to know his shit. I mean, you're supposed to know the correct information. That's part of journalism, that's part of, you have to source your material. And when you get when you get a title wrong like that, that's just terrible. You're losing credibility. Furthermore, he says 2011. What came out in 2011 was Ocarina of Time 3D for the 3DS, as well as Skyward Sword for the Wii. A Link Between Worlds came out in 2013. I don't even think we knew about it until, was it late 2012 maybe? I don't know. All I know is 2011, Link Between Worlds wasn't even a thought in the general public. I don't know how far along Nintendo had the game going, but to the general public, and especially to these guys, anyone outside of Nintendo, it was Link Between Worlds wasn't even a thing. So the fact that he's saying 2011 is just ridiculous, and he's getting the title wrong in the same fucking sentence. That's just, your credibility is just it's garbage. Like, you have no credibility after that. What's also shocking is how he says this new incarnation, however, is structured as a multiplayer title with loot system, gear crafting, and cooperative dungeons with short run times. Obviously, like, that's highly obvious, because it is a spin-off. It is a side game. It was never, ever, ever advertised as the next mainline Zelda game. The next mainline Zelda game is being advertised as Zelda Wii U. This is the same thing that happened with Animal Crossing. People pegged Animal Crossing as, oh, it's the next Animal Crossing game. Just because it has the Animal Crossing name, they think it's going to be like the next main series. No. A series is allowed to have spin-offs or side games. And I don't understand why people don't really get that. And it's just it's the same thing. It's something that's plagued Kingdom Hearts for years. How people keep saying, "Oh, these side games are terrible. When do we get Kingdom Hearts 3?" Blah, blah. Well, there wouldn't even been storyline for Kingdom Hearts 3 without those side games building up the story. Just like with Metroid Prime Federation Force. Metroid Prime 4 is not going to be made until the NX comes out. They've already said that, and they need a storyline to be built there. Metroid Prime Federation Force is going to be a bridge title, a side title, showing some other things in the Metroid universe to bridge you to that Metroid Prime 4 or another potential Metroid game. That's just how side games go. And when it comes to side games, it gives you more creative freedom to be able to do different stuff. Like, if Triforce Heroes was Zelda Wii U, that would have been terrible. Like, that's like, because the next mainline Zelda game, and it's not even like an open world game. But that's the thing, it's not being advertised as a mainline Zelda game. And you gotta listen to the thing, you have to understand that. Just like Animal Crossing, Happy Home Designer, it was advertised as a spin-off, a side game that focuses on one thing. It focuses on the home designing aspect and creating other people's homes. It's not about the whole community like Animal Crossing had. Doesn't mean it's bad, just means it's doing something different in the series. Again, that's building upon your franchise, building upon your universe, and offering you different gameplay elements. There's nothing wrong with that. Just like with Triforce Heroes, it's following the footsteps of Four Swords and Four Swords Adventures and everything. Four Swords Adventures was an amazing Zelda game. I wish they would re-release it in some form, because I think it's the only Zelda game that can't be played on any current system. It can't be played on the Wii U or the 3DS. So I wish they'd bring that back. But Four Swords Adventures is a great example. It had an amazing single player and multiplayer. Had a campaign mode as well as a multiplayer only Shadow Battle mode. In Japan, they had the exclusive Navi Trackers mode, and but it was really great, and it offered you a way of playing the game single player, but it still made it enjoyable, and I really like that. But it's obvious that it was a side game. Four Swords Adventures came out on the GameCube, just like the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess did, but it was never advertised and hyped up like those games are, and it was never Nintendo never came out and said this is the next mainline Zelda game. They flat out said it was part of the Four Swords series when that came out. So that's what I'm saying. That's how this is. Now, it's not a Four Swords game, but it's following in that footsteps. So no, you can't judge it as, oh, well, it doesn't play like a Link Between Worlds or Zelda, or how I want Zelda Wii U to be or whatever. So it's shit. You can't do that. So right off there, we could tell this paragraph right here. And even the top paragraph, we'll highlight the top paragraph too. Both this opening pretty much sums up the rest of the review. I don't even have to go through the rest of this review because it's all just bullshit. He's going over and over again talking about how, oh, the plot got me at first, but then afterwards Nintendo talked herself into a corner and the final boss was over the top, blah blah, and it's blah and it's like, again, it's a fucking spin-off. It's not going to be the next epic Zelda game like Skyward Sword was. It's not trying to be like that. It's trying to be a competitive, multiplayer experience while still offering that single player as well. It's just to be something a little bit different. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. So, like I said, the last thing I want to mention is the fact that, okay, Mike Mahardy, let's look at this. Mike Mahardy has played every Zelda game and cares about the chronological order of the series. So this guy who's reviewed these games he reviewed this game, has played every other Zelda game. So let's count them. We have Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Oracle Seasons, Oracle of Ages, Four Swords on the Game Boy Advance, The Wind Waker, Four Swords Adventures, Twilight Princess, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, Skyward Sword, A Link Between Worlds, and this game. And if you want to count it, Hyrule Warriors. But I don't necessarily count that. But still. So he's saying he's played all those games, and he cares about the chronological order of the series. When you go chronological order, that means you care about everything. If you're a timeline fanatic, you care about when the game takes place in the timeline, when the game was released, game's titles, bits of dialogue, characterizations, plot progression, links between different series, different cameos here and there. You care about all that shit. But obviously he fucking doesn't if he goes up here and claims 2011 Stellar A Link Between World. A game, there's no such game as A Link Between World. There is a game called A Link Between Worlds, and it came out in 2013. So, GameSpot, your review is shit. It's garbage. I don't know why you have this guy doing your reviews, and this is a prime example of why people should not trust reviews. Because look at this. We can go back. The game is averaging 7s and 8s. IGN gave it an 8.5. That's what I'm saying. There's a list right here that I'm showing you. Okay, so Nintendo Life gave it a 6 out of 10. I actually did not even look at this review, so I'll probably look at that later. But GameSpot's the one I'm focusing on. 5 out of 10. It's the lowest review on the spectrum, and then Nintendo Life's right, below that. And then the rest are really good. 7s. EGM gave it a 6. Okay, but still, you got, like I said, 7, 4 out of 5, 7.25 out of 10, 4.5, 75 out of 100. 3.5 out of 5, 9 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10, 7.9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 7. See, that's what I'm saying. It's averaging 7s and 8s. And a lot of people are judging it based on, a spin-off, which is how you should be judging it. You can't, like I said, you can't go into this specific genre or this specific style of game or movie or show or music or whatever medium you are doing. You can't go into it and say, oh yeah, well, this doesn't play like this one over here, so it just sucks. 5 out of 10. You cannot do that. That's bad journalism. So it's just that's just terrible. The fact that you are, like I said again, GameSpot. The fact that you have someone like that doing your reviews and he claims he's big in the in the Zelda, he's played all of them, he cares about the games, the story and everything, is total garbage. It's horseshit. I mean, it's just, and what sucks about this is it doesn't matter if there's 8s and 7s. What matters is the fact that you have a guy giving it a 5 out of 10. EGM and Nintendo Life have people giving it a 6 out of 10. Those are 3 terrible reviews out of the many that are giving it really good reviews, decent reviews. People are going to disregard those dozens of decent reviews and instead focus on the bad. Those people are going to be like, oh, okay, 5 out of 10, the game sucks, even though I've never played it, canceling my pre-order. I'm going to go cancel my pre-order. And that's what's going to happen. And that's terrible, And again, I can't always blame the reviewers for that. It's not necessarily the reviewers' fault. It's half their fault for even putting the ideas out there. But the fact that people are willing to listen to reviews and do that, that's on them. And I feel like that's terrible. This is a prime example of why reviews professional reviews should not be taken seriously. That's what things like demos are for. That's what demo events are for. You know, that's what, you know, asking your friend, you know, let me check it out. You know, if you're unsure about a game, you know, demo it, rent it, ask your friend about it. You know, that's what I'm saying. Don't go off of someone who gives it a 5 out of 10, you know, and then claims that even though it's a spin-off, you know, it's structured as a spin-off and it's bad after the game that came out in 2011 called A Link Between Worlds that doesn't fucking exist. So, in closing, GameSpot, your review is terrible. Mike Mahardy, with the you know, I don't know what you're doing, but this is not good journalism, and I am very, very dissatisfied with your review. So, yep. Thanks for watching, guys.